Welcome back to Assassin's Creed 2. Last time on Assassin's Creed 2, Desmond got pulled from the Animus for his safety, and also so that Lucy could see what skills he's retained or added to his arsenal from being in the Animus. Talking with Sean, Rebecca, and Lucy, we learn that it's not so good on the assassin side. Teams are being found. Templars are getting closer to finding pieces of Eden. But we must go on if we're to help anyone. After showing Lucy what we've learned, we went back upstairs to get some rest. But before making it, Desmond sees a vision. Several Templars line the hallways. And then darkness. And a person beckons him forward. Turns out this is a vision of Altair, and he's got a target in his sights. Templars are everywhere. He's in Acre. Following his target, he makes it to the top of a tower where the target is waiting. It's Maria, the one that Robert de Sable decided to use as a decoy, the woman that Altair never killed. It turns out they've had a romantic affair that led to a child. And now we know how Altair and Ezio are connected. Interesting that two different sides have come together, the assassin and the Templar. But now it's time to get back into the Animus and get back to work. Serenissima Repubblica di Venezia, 1481. First thing that we can do is climb some towers and get a better view of Venezia before we begin our mission. I think for now, this one will do. After getting rid of the guards, we can talk to Leonardo.
Messer Da Vinci!
Yes?
Buongiorno e ben arrivato. I am Elvise. Senor Don has asked that I escort you to the workshop. Are you ready?
Benvenuto. Take a quick tour of Venice with Elvise.
Ah, Venezia.
Elvise de Villandino. Date of birth 1441. Profession baggage handler. A Venetian native, Elvise worked as a baggage handler for several years until convinced of Venice's superiority, he enlisted in the navy. In 1500, he was tasked with defending the fortress of Moron from the Turks. After a heavy night of drinking, Alvise awoke to Turkish cannon fire bombarding the town. Panicking while running across the deck, he tripped, hit his head, and drowned. When it became clear Venice had lost the battle, he was accused of negligence by the ship's captain and erased from the logs of the navy.
What other place is as beautiful, as stable, as perfect? Come, I will show you her wonders.
Another landmark, this one with a glyph. Ponte di Rialto, the oldest and most famous bridge in Venice. The Rialto is the dividing line between the districts of San Marco and San Polo. The bridge is not only notable for the size of its large arch, but also for its main walkway lined with shops and stalls, which was a vibrant, strolling and meeting place for the community around it. Contrast that with today's Rialto, where crowds of tourists fight over cheap knockoffs of Venetian glass while some idiot attempts to spit off the edge of the bridge onto passing boats. Ah, modernity.
Our first stop, the Rialto Bridge. Behold the elegance with which she spans the Grand Canal.
And we find another landmark with a glyph on it. San Giacomo di Rialto. Originally founded in 421, San Giacomo is believed to be the oldest church in Venice, although the current building was constructed around 1071. The 15th century facade is crowned with a magnificent 24-hour celestial clock. During the Renaissance, the church was typically used by the merchants in the nearby market as a place to stop and pray during the workday. At least, that's what they told their wives.
Symbol of Venetian unity and pride. Let us continue. Here we are, San Giacomo di Rialto, oldest church in Venezia. Isn't she beautiful? And her clock tower, magnifico. Come, there's more to see. No other city can match the size of Venezia's markets, be it spices or silk, from near and far. There is...
You were told to stay home, but the rent is paid. I have every right to sell here. Emilio disagrees. No, stop!
Let us continue the tour elsewhere.
Look, isn't it amazing? Would you mind buying it for me? I left my money with my bags.
Hey! Mind your step, Corleone!
Have you been just last month the Visconti bought 300
Palazzo della Seta, the home of Venice's most powerful merchant, Emilio Barbarigo. Work on Seta, as it is affectionately known by locals, was completed in 1450. The palazzo is a standout example of Venetian Gothic architecture, dark and imposing, yet light and airy at the same time.
And here we have the Palazzo della Seta, home to Emilio Barbarigo. Normally I'd suggest a closer look, but with the way things are now...
Why? What's happened?
He is attempting to unify the merchants beneath a single banner. There's been resistance, some of it violent.
What kind of resistance?
They say they're fighting for the people, for freedom or some such nonsense. Baggianate, if you ask me.
They destroyed my stand. I demand compensation.
Here you are, then.
The Doge will know about this. I'll report you to the council.
Good luck with that, my friend.
What are you doing?
You're under arrest for disrupting commerce.
What? You just invented that. There's no such law.
There is now.
No! Stop!
Bottega di Leonardo e Venezia. During his brief stay in Venice, Leonardo da Vinci was a paid military engineer for the Venetian army and claimed to be working on a painting of the famous Isabella di Este, of whom he had made a cartoon while visiting Mantua. Despite promising her repeatedly that he was hard at work, no painting ever materialized. Although many history books claim Leonardo only visited Venice once, it seems that he used his workshop there as a sort of secret retreat, returning to it repeatedly during his life.
And now, I present to you your workshop, Sir Da Vinci. We spared no expense in its design. You'll see, it is perfect, as if you never left Firenze. I wish you great success, and hope you enjoy Venezia, as much as she enjoys having you.
So, here we are. Exciting, isn't it? Care to come in?
Maybe later. I need to visit the Palazzo della Seta. Try and gain an audience with Emilio.
As you wish. But should you find yourself with free time, or another codex page, don't hesitate to visit. My door is always open.
Grazie, my friend.
Di nulla.
Emilio Barbarigo, titan of Venetian industry, terror of the underworld. Aided by his powerful family, he cornered the market through smart business practices such as edging out the competition and lobbying the government. He funded the Venetian police force almost single-handedly, keeping the streets safe from crime and his finances tax-free. Emilio claims to be a supporter of the Republic. The problem is, once you own the police force, voting becomes, well, inefficient, as does, you know, opposition.
Emilio Barbarigo, date of birth 1421, profession merchant guild leader and a noble. The poor baggage handler never got any money from Leonardo, and it wasn't our job to do it. Perhaps that's why he joined the Navy. Now that we're all done,
I found this awesome place for you to explore and practice your skills. Santa Maria dei Frari. I've marked it on your map.
perhaps we'll check it out in due time. For now, we can try and find those glyphs that were mentioned in our database entries earlier before we forget about them. The first one is underneath the bridge on this wall. We have to swim to get to it.
I don't know what's happening to me. I have been in the machine. You keep putting me back in, and I am losing control. It's all blurring together. I'm holding a rifle. Gettysburg is in the distance. I just stabbed a man, and there's blood on my waistcoat. I'm at the opera. Soprano. So beautiful. I'm in bed with her. She cries as I fuck her. I'm speaking at the forum. No one listens. I'm in the forest hunting. Oh, the moon. I can see the moon. I'm here. I have to stay here until you understand. Listen, why do we have these gifts, these abilities? Because it's in our blood!
Bloodlines unlock the file. The seeds were planted as two worlds became one. Behold, the assassins, the children of two worlds. Nothing in red here. We actually use Sean on this one. Diana visited by Zeus. The three Graces. Venus of Urbino. Jupiter and Io. Madame X. Leda and the Swan. Cupid and Psyche. Hero and Leander. Cleopatra before Caesar. And Rape of Europa.
That can't be. Well, maybe. There was a myth I once heard, right? Some nonsense about the mating of gods and mortals.
And with that information, we can attempt to choose the correct images. The images we're looking for, we're looking to find two entities joining, if you will. So two that become one. Visited by Zeus. So we'll choose that one. The three Graces, we will not choose that one. Venus of Urbino. Jupiter and Io, we'll choose that one. Madame X, we can skip her. Leda and the Swan, we'll choose that one. Cupid, yep, we'll choose that one. Hero and Leander, before Caesar, and we will choose that one. And there we have it. Oh, and that's the only one, so our passcode is unlocked. Only a few more to find before we know the full truth. And lucky for us, there's one right around here. I searched for it actually for a little while. Mostly in eagle vision. But eventually I did find it hidden behind the clock. Guardians, unlock the file. Okay, so another dial puzzle. This one's a little bit more complicated. The inside and the outside move. Either way, I think we can skip over it. The death of all tyrants will set the people free. And it has an assassin symbol on it. Okay. Francisco Pizarro. South America. Francisco Duvalier. John Wilkes Booth. These are targets of the assassins. Cleopatra. Joseph Stalin. Rasputin. Mary the First of England. And Thomas D. Torquemada. And our passcode is found. One more closer to the truth. With that, we can continue on. We're going to get more viewpoints, collect some treasures, and whatnot. The Santa Maria Gloriosa de Frari. Built by Franciscan monks, Santa Maria Gloriosa di Frari, the Frari for short, is the second largest church in Venice, following the guidelines of St. Francis, who advocated poverty. The church has very basic exterior decoration. It is rumored that in the 15th century the Frari housed a hidden tomb which has since collapsed. Moving on, I tried to climb the tower at the top. I've made my way all the way up there, only to realize that you can't actually climb it yet. And so it'll have to be visited later. So for now, we'll head to the other viewpoints. I needed to go back to Villa Auditore, but this was the new fast travel I needed to take. Rebecca says you have to pay to ride the ferry. Venice is situated on a series of islands surrounded by a lagoon, requiring travelers arriving or departing to take a traghetti or ferry. Traghetti come in all sizes, from the small ferries that shuttle people around the city to large ships that carry passengers to and from the mainland. Traghetto stations were run by guilds which enacted all kinds of laws to make sure that only the most connected members had the lucrative privilege of working at a station. Each station had its own rules, which could range from allowing only people 40 years of age and older to work there, to forcing pilots to only carry 10 passengers per ship. Anyways, by coming back and seeing Monteregioni, we can see that it looks so much better than it did before when we first got here. Everything is more vibrant. People are walking about and shopping, and it's just more lively and awake.
God be with you. You're exactly.
The villa itself is much more beautiful than it was before. We can talk to Lydia about...
Salute, Claudia.
You here to look at the book?
our records before collecting our money from the chest
A
behind
presto,
her.
Ezio.
We can do what we need to do and then head back to Venezia. San Giove. One of the earliest examples of Renaissance architecture in Venice, this church was built for the residents of a nearby hospice by the Doge. Buried inside, Cristoforo Moro. Cristoforo presided over Venice's war with the Turks until his death in 1471. He had one son, Dante Moro, who he disowned after Dante lost his position as captain in the Venetian city guard in 1468. Yet another landmark with a glyph. Gilda dei Ladri di Venezia. Established sometime around 1465, the Venetian Thieves Guild, due to its illegality, had no permanent headquarters. Although efforts were made by magistrates to crack down on thievery, accused culprits never seemed to be around when the city guard went searching for them.
It happened in 1908. Or was it 2008? 1708? I can't remember!
The cavalry unlock the file. Nicola, we know what they have done to your lab, to your career. It may be too late to set things right, but you can help prevent something far worse. They have taken an object from the Tsar and are conducting experiments in Tunguska to figure out how to use it. Before they do, we must take it from them, or the world will be in danger. We do not ask you to risk your life, just that when the time comes, you use your electricity to destroy the object. Regardless of your decision, know that we admire your work greatly and will bear you no ill will. We respect your freedom above all else. It's not necessarily signed by anybody or anything like that. I assume it's from the assassins. We see several names. Tunguska sticks out to us. Clicking on it shows up Sturgo with a staff. And there's Mr. Tesla himself. It looks like whatever happened. Either the letter never got read, or Tesla never did anything about it, or he died before he could. 4 more to go. Now that we're done with that, we can head inside of the Templar lair after dealing with that guard. Before we get going, I have to tell you that we collected all of the chests in this part of Venice, and it yields 19,220 florins. Over beams, under stone, explore Santa Maria Gloriosa di Frari and find the Templar treasure hidden within. As normal, we're going to run through this a bit quickly.
Bene. Now I have a way back up in case I fall.
And it looks like only 1,000 from here. No one's worried about the person coming out of the sewers. Now it's our favorite thing to do, assassin contracts. Luckily there aren't too many of them. Thicker than water, I'm sending one of my men to help you eliminate a conspirator who has ties to Archbishop Salviati. He will pilot a gondola toward your target. Follow him at a distance. Make sure to avoid combat until you're ready to strike. Signed, Lorenzo. There's our man, who, may I say, does a much better job of blending in to the general populace than I do. Following him leads us to this boat. And our target is there on board. Time to take him out. Giving it a wide berth, we can finally take our chance to get close. Getting up, it turns out we can't just walk onto the boat, so we're gonna have to get up, be seen, and then strike. And another man appears, but we got our target, so that's all that matters. Zero tolerance. One of our family's allies is constantly being harassed by a merchant from the Soderini family. Eliminate him without her knowledge. I don't want to frighten her. Signed, Lorenzo. Looks like she's being chased. While we have the chance, we can take it. Well, everybody, that'll end this episode. Thank you for sticking around if you did. And go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what I can improve on. Tell me anything you want to tell me. Tell me anything the internet wants you to tell them. Anyways, Have a good one. Bye.